In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Franklin Township Environmental Commission was made by posting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, posted on the township's website, and electronically transmitted to the officially designated newspapers indicating that this meeting would take place in person at 7 p.m. in the municipal building on March 17th. So next we do roll call, and Walter is not here. Well, he may be here yet. Ted Chase? Here. E.T.?
Yeah.
Stan?
Yes.
Arnold?
Here.
Robin? Jim Chino?
Hello.
Maria?
Here.
I'm here. Ellen?
Yes.
Tara's here, and Ed's not. Report from the, I actually wrote it out, but I can't find it. I didn't bring it with me. Two things. Just an update on the Onyx application that we've reviewed, which had been postponed, now scheduled for April 2nd. Evidently, the planning board did not meet in March. This is the one where they want to build a warehouse in the area between New Brunswick and Old New Brunswick Road, across from the ShopRite. And it's what the pipelines running through the building that are going to be right at the edge of the building. And Somerset Run has been fighting that one as Canal Walk for B9. But this one, I think, has less of a chance of getting approved because Buckeye owns the pipeline and they're not happy. The regulation says the building should be 100 feet from the pipeline. They did back it off. It was 21 feet, now they're at 40 feet. But they're also bringing in 3 feet of topsoil, which means to the Buckeye pipeline, if they have to repair or go into the pipeline, they got to dig deeper, and that means they got to put shoring on the thing. It's a whole big deal, and they don't want to have to do that. So they're not happy. There's also no way to get tractor-trailer trucks in there. You can't make a turn from New Brunswick, and Old New Brunswick. Part of it is a private road, and you need an easement. And I don't think they're going to get an easement.
Why would they need to get tractor trailers?
Because if it's a warehouse, they need.
Oh, okay, I just wanted you to clarify that.
It's a warehouse. What else would it be? As Mark Healy said, it's one of the worst ones he's ever seen. Oh, here's Walter. Good. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to thank Tara for the annual report. It really is great. And it looks like it's covered all the ground.
Thank you.
I wanted that on the minutes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some tweaks to be made, but yeah,
Yeah,
we're getting closer.
Yeah. So that was.
Thank you.
That's it. I got easy. Move approval of the minutes of the March 3rd meeting.
So move.
Anybody have any comments or changes or suggestions? Arnold, nothing? Maria, yes.
No. Oh, Maria does.
I could, but I won't.
Just as part of the report that we presented, we mentioned that Ellen is working on a presentation on compost for the fall.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing.
It's not in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Ellen's working on
Compost.
composting workshop, you said, right? Okay.
Got an outline, I'm fleshing it out, I've got references.
I'm waiting for final approval from Anthony Wu that he's got the insurance locked in. Once he's got the insurance locked in, we'll start with Canal Walk, because we got people ready to go. But he's got to have that insurance certificate.
That's great.
Paragraph 3, line 3, there's just typo. Instead of website, it says website.
Paragraph 3, line 3.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Thank you, Stan, that was the one that I was knocking his off.
Very good.
I didn't want to be the bad guy.
Oh, okay, see, got it.
That's okay, I found the typo in the annual report.
Yes.
So you're not the only one.
Yes, there's only something. Thank you.
Okay. Shouldn't it? Well, I had a whole list of comments that I forgot to bring. They're all
really minor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The biggest thing is, why don't you use periods at the end of sentences?
You know, I don't know, because it's a PowerPoint presentation, but it's a report, you're right. And I kept going, sometimes I put a period, sometimes I didn't, so eventually I took them all out. But I think I guess I should put them back in.
Yeah, if they're sentences with a
Yeah,
subject and
there should be, yeah, you're right.
I mean, there are some things that aren't.
Yeah. I agree. You're right, 100%, yep, I'll change it, yeah.
With PowerPoint, you're allowed now to skip periods.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, yeah. But you know what, this PowerPoint like acts as a report, so, yeah, so I was like, I don't know, does it look weird with a period? I'm not sure, so yes, but I think that's a good,
That's true, you
Yeah.
do a lot of PowerPoints with those periods, it's just statements.
yeah, it's weird. But yes, those are, yeah, send me those when you have them, all the comments, and I can make them. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the biggest other one was in save the mowing till Earth Day. Till should have 2 L's.
It should? Oh, see, I went back and forth on that
It's
too.
1 L, but if it's just till, it's 2 L's.
Oh, I thought it was short for until, so that's why I
I did
say
too.
apostrophe TIL. No. Oh, okay. So the spell check was telling me this is wrong, and I was like, no, it's not.
You gotta look at the spell check.
Yes.
You can till the soil.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was like, if it's short for until, you would think it would just be the 1 L, right? But I'll fix that too.
I think
Yep.
I've written it that way also, with
Yeah.
1 L.
Well, send me in when you're ready, yep.
Okay.
All right, so we have those 2 comments. We have the, yeah.
If there's no other comments, I'll accept the minutes as amended. Favor?
These have been so entertaining, why stop, you know?
Well, let's see what happens. I'll open now for a vote to open this floor to public comment.
So move.
Second,
Any public comments?
I have a question. So I guess it's been almost 2 years, Jan Brandt, 22 Bryant Court. I guess it's been almost 2 years since you all made the rule about the trees and more money into the tree fund and whatnot. I'm just wondering the results of that. Have you noticed less buildings cutting down trees, or has there, I guess, increased the money that you have in your funding for the trees?
It's interesting, one of the things that we reviewed last week, where they were gonna have a deficit of 140 trees. In the redo, I noticed they're planting 140 trees. So either I missed it the first time, or they didn't have it in, and now they put it in, because they don't tell us what changes, and I didn't go back and look at the old one. So that was one exactly, right. But Stan, have you heard anything from the
Stan, have you heard? Have you heard, Stan?
No.
Making funny.
I heard him say Stan.
Right. Keep doing that.
Everybody imbibe St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Something about the trees, from the Shade Tree Commission.
Now,
The tree fund, as Jan asked.
ask the question again, please. I thought you were talking to Stan.
Okay, Stan. Good morning. So just, I'm wondering, you made that great, resolution or whatever you want to, about the tree fund and people having to pay more money into it. And I'm just wondering, it's been, I think, probably almost 2 years, I'm not sure. And I'm just wondering if it's, made a difference with how much money now you have in your fund, or with people not taking down as many trees as before.
I can say that I don't know if it's made a difference in whether people take down as many trees or not. I can say that there is more money in the tree fund, a lot more money in the tree fund because of it. And I can also say that the Shade Tree Commission just requested that the township again review how much trees cost to see if that needs to be changed again. It could go up, could go down, don't know. But the last time it was reviewed, I believe, was in
2022
23.
or 2023, okay.
23. Yeah, and it's supposed to be done annually. That's in the ordinance that it's supposed to be done annually. So we had to remind them that they did not do it in 2024, so we reminded them just recently that came up at our last shade tree meeting a couple of weeks ago.
Stan, as I remember, it's $300 a tree at this point.
Yeah.
Stan, is it?
What? I did that up front.
Yes, it was $30 a tree and now it was 30 and now it's 300, right?
I guess we need to spend money on
Any
name
other
tags.
comments from the public? Motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Second, yeah.
Okay, business. Yes. Correspondence?
I did receive one email, and it is from, well, actually, so I really received two emails, but this one is from Karav Mehta, and he is a student that is working with, hold on, I want to get the right, scroll down and get the right name here. Okay. He's reaching out to schedule a conversation to learn more about our work. He's the leader of his school's Applied Research and Photography Club, and speaking with someone from our commission will provide valuable insight. Would someone for the commission be available for a brief Zoom or phone call? I would greatly appreciate hearing from you. And he's from Bridgewater Raritan High School, class of 2027. Yeah.
Where the hell it is?
He's, what is he? He's a sophomore, yeah.
Sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind speaking with him. I just want to put it out there in case somebody else did. He's just interested in learning, like, what do we do as a commission? What are our goals? What do we work on?
Is he related to Franklin?
He's from Bridgewater Raritan. He's a student.
Send him the annual report, that should answer all his questions.
Yeah, that's true. I could do that. I could forward him to Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I could forward him to Bridgewater.
Yeah.
But I don't mind speaking to him unless someone else wants to.
Environmental Commission in Bridgewater?
I believe they
I
do,
think they do,
yeah.
They do, but, they're,
What was his last name?
His last name is
They were not-
Mehta, I believe. Hold on. Let me,
Okay.
it's MEHTA.
PA, Meta, yeah.
So I can reach back out to him. I'll either speak to him or I will send him the annual report or I'll forward him to Bridgewater, one or the other. And then we also received another similar request. I'm just trying to find where it is. I started writing the person back. Another student, basically. You know what? This came to my regular email. This one, here we go. And this is from a student, and I'm sure his name is Vihan Iyer, and he is a student at VOTEC doing a project regarding the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Specifically, we are researching environmental issues and wanted to get in contact with someone working for Franklin for a possible interview about what the township is doing to work on sustainability. So again, I'll speak to him, but Maria, I figured, I don't know, maybe you want to speak to him. I don't know if you know this person from VOTEC or not. I don't know if you know him, he's from VOTEC.
well, he might be a student from the academy. Yeah.
Okay,
But
I can speak to him, or unless you want me to forward it to him, since you're there at VOTEC, maybe you can speak to him during this, I don't know.
Forward me the email.
Forward it to you, okay.
Is that person from Franklin? Does he?
Yeah.
I don't know, that I don't know. He goes to VOTEC.
And who runs the UN model in the school is a Spanish teacher, Mr. Reina. So,
All right, I'm gonna send it to you, Maria.
Is everybody VOTEC from Franklin?
If you're from Somerset County, you can go to VOTEC.
All right, so
Yep,
he
yep.
can be anywhere in the county.
He could be anywhere in the county, right? Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so then Maria, I'll send that to you, which I just did.
Share a correspondence then. Site plans. Here, we have a few, but they'll be quick.
We have a few, so I'll do the one that I did, which was the bigger one. Then we have two smaller ones, which is simple. So I worked on the L Ion resubmittal. So this was sent to us a while back. It came in as a zoning board application, and then they were able to resolve it so that they no longer need variances. They made some changes and worked with the planning board, and now it's a planning board application. So let me just get my GLDC up here. So I'll just give you some background on it. So it is on Route 27. The exact address is, I think it's 1313 Route 27. I'll show you the map in 1 second.
Oh, that's the one by Veronica.
Yes, it's off of by Veronica, yep. It's 16.77 acres total. They are looking to put two 75,000 square foot warehouses. So they're two separate buildings, 75,000 square feet each. The access, so I'm sorry, let me back up. Of that 75,000, 73,350 square feet would be the warehouse space. 1,330 would be office space, and 320 square feet would be electrical room. The site will have 275 parking spaces, 62 loading berths, and 4 drive-up ramps. The access is proposed via a cross-section access from the approved warehouse development already existing in the block to the north. So this is just,
Really,
I'm sorry?
to the west, really.
Yeah, it is. It's like the
Eventually,
northwest, yes.
there's access out to Veronica.
You're right, the access goes out to Veronica. I'm gonna put up the bigger map in a second, but this here is Bennett's Lane, just for your reference. This is the site we're talking about right here. And this is the site here that they wanna put the access through. That's the different
Well,
already.
the big white warehouse there already has the access.
Right. Let me turn this off.
I don't know whether to cut you short, but the planning board actually heard this last Wednesday.
They did hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Christine told me that they were not gonna hear it until this upcoming one, no? But you heard it.
Yeah, and it's not completely final. The main thing is that John House recommended, more than recommended, that they have an emergency access from Route 27. So
Okay,
there's
that makes
discussion,
sense.
and I've actually been to the site and looked at it as to where.
Okay.
And if you put up the map again,
Next to Subaru dealers?
Well, you got it on the regular map, hang on.
yeah,
I was looking at the floodplains there before.
well, I was going to say you can see, but now you can't if you
So where are the,
zoom out, that there's a couple of points of, sort of tails of lots that go out to 27.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think the
next to Subaru?
smaller one, there's actually a driveway to a house on the lot next to it, enters on that, and on the left-hand side, you can pretty much see in the picture, actually you don't quite there. There's a line of arborvitae trees along the property line. I think they're on the lot next to it.
Okay,
So the point is that they can have their driveway there, and it's better there because there's a height differential further to the right, further to the north,
okay,
behind the other one. Because there's actually a great big pile of earth, somewhat grown up with trees, at that edge of the property, most of which is in what they will be developed.
okay,
The sensitivity to the fact that the line between the BI zone and the OPT zone runs across, well, where the tails stick out. You know,
like this way?
like this.
Oh,
And the attorney,
Yeah.
who is Doug Wolfson, Jack Norris's attorney, so it's all, I guess, under Jack Norris, is very sensitive to not raising any zoning questions that might force them back to the Board of Adjustment.
Right.
But the planning board, well, mainly Mike Orsini and the lawyer, agreed that the emergency access mandated by the town would not constitute development in the OPT zone.
Okay, all right,
It's not really, not using the OPT zone for freestanding development. It's just the emergency access. So that was really the
That was it?
Yeah.
Because they had a report from us dated January 3rd, so it wasn't that long ago, and
We
they,
looked
so
at
they
that.
had our report,
Yeah.
and then I was asked to review it again, and I kept being like, I sent a report not to, unless they did a quick resubmission, that was insignificant.
Can you remind us location of those two warehouses on the map?
Yes, so they're in this section, right, Ted? Am I
Yeah.
correct? They're down in this section, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you.
Because to
Most of
the
them?
more northwesterly part, the left-hand part of this picture is, it is all actually stream buffer. And they will have a detention basin above these trees and then just retain the woods in the upper left corner there. Well, there's not much woods. There are
So-
some woods there.
So
And the
the,
board was quite insistent that they keep the trees that are along the zone border with the R40 zone.
right here,
They will keep that.
they will be the detention.
Detention basin,
And two of these buildings will be.
yeah. The detention basins are here, and keeping these trees, the board was quite insistent on. And you can see there's some woods here. Also, we recommended that they bank some of the parking places. They were asking for almost twice as many parking places as required. And the excuse was, well, maybe there'll be several users, each of which will have an employee.
They could also contemplate maybe connection to
Oh,
that.
Let's see, they said that they couldn't keep the trees along that
They're on
border.
either side of the
because
building, so the two buildings are next to each other, and the parking
The
is on like the
driveway
left of
will
building
be-
A and the
But
right
they
of
will
building
have a
B. Yeah,
contact-
I'll show you the site
A
plan.
trail
Because I
A way
think
to go
the basin that is showing and the trees,
eventually to
it's all of that.
the Stop and Shop, by which time the Stop and Shop will have closed.
Where, what's that?
But through to that.
So they had my report of January 3rd already from the last.
Another one in
So
East.
I don't think there was anything different, because I was trying to compare my old report and my new report. So that's probably why they didn't need me to review it again, so that makes sense. So it looks like we already reviewed this and submitted a report on
And
it,
they've
so.
ready, and the planning board's already.
And the planning board heard it, okay. All right, so that's, okay, so we have we have two other ones that should be relatively simple.
Tara, could I ask a question?
Yeah.
Just hearing about, I mean, I don't really like warehouses, but trying to keep an open mind. I think you mentioned the size of the buildings, so many square feet. What's the square footage of all the impervious surface? The
So of
asphalt?
all the impervious surface, it is,
What percentage of that is the property?
so the impervious coverage right now is around, I believe it's, well, let me back up. In the BI zone, you're allowed to have 60% impervious coverage, and they're within that because they're not requesting a variance. I believe they're right below it. It's like 58.5, somewhere around there. The total acreage proposed for development on the site is 618,552. Now, some of that is pervious pavement, some of it is a reconstructed wetland, some of it is, they are doing a lot of green infrastructure strategies, which is great. One thing that they are not required to do is do the solar roof, or the make-ready solar roof, because the law says that it's for buildings of 100,000 square feet or more, and there are two buildings at 75 each, but we recommended that in our report, that they should still do it.
Yeah.
I don't, but.
Decided not
We
to.
didn't,
Right.
I don't think we got anything from them on that.
No.
No.
Maybe they'll make it, trying to remember whether they'll make it solar ready.
That would be nice. This one we
Yeah,
got in
They're not
here,
required to.
Yeah, they're not required to.
we received this one here, it's Dale Enterprises.
Is that the one on 27 that
Hang on one sec. So these just came up, so I haven't actually had a chance to look at these
I
yet.
think it
This
is.
is at 315 Churchill Avenue.
No.
I'll put it on a map in 1 second. Let me just get what they're oh, here we go. The applicant received original approvals for a D variance and site plan approval to construct a banquet hall from the zoning
Oh,
board of
yeah, that's the same
adjustment.
one.
Since then, the applicant has received numerous, did you review this
Yes,
one?
that's
Okay,
the
so,
one.
oh, you put
That one,
one,
right?
I'm sorry?
There one?
No, this
I
is a
did.
different one.
I read this one through.
Paul reviewed it.
It's an existing banquet hall, and the regulations say that you're not allowed to have fireworks or loud music in the banquet hall. They're asking for a variance so that they can have music when there's a wedding going on to accompany the bride and groom down the aisle.
Outdoor music.
Outdoor music,
Yeah.
15 minutes worth of music. That's the whole variance. Otherwise, everything stays the same.
Banquet hall, they're having the ceremony inside, but they want to have a variance for.
Yeah.
What is the exact wording on the music?
So it says, "We are hereby requesting partial relief of the original resolution of approval, which indicates no fireworks or outside music is allowed. The applicant is requesting approval for outdoor music to be permitted for a maximum duration of 15 minutes in accordance with a ritual procession involving the bride and groom during wedding ceremonies."
How many decibels would that be above?
They're very strict on themselves. 15 minutes is really little. And this is 15 minutes per day or per what?
Oh, per event.
Per event.
Per event. And the event can be every half an hour?
So basically, they
Depends on how
receive,
fast the bride.
they receive variance approvals already for this banquet hall and everything they need, but they want to amend one of the conditions of the approval resolution, which basically said you cannot have fireworks or
music.
was it loud? Did it say
Yeah,
something?
loud.
Fireworks or outside music.
Yeah.
They want to ask for an amendment to the approval resolution just to allow for outside music, not fireworks, outside music.
Where is this property? Where is this banquet hall?
This is located at 315 Churchill Ave, 315 or
Isn't that
313?
near-
How close to the
27.
nearest residential house?
Like,
Only a residential
Probably.
area.
I don't think so. I think that was in the shopping center that they took over. If I remember right.
Yeah, it might be beyond,
Yeah.
all right.
There are houses in the back.
That's Churchill.
Yeah, okay, here we go. This is the property we're talking about here.
Oh, it's the Marigold.
Marigold.
Oh, the Marigold.
This is Veronica.
That's the other interest,
This is Amwell, right? 514 Amwell. Churchill Road is back here. Veronica,
Yeah.
Clyde, Amwell. And yes, there are some houses here. I think they're talking about, I mean,
These are
there's,
not houses.
That's commercial.
It's commercial.
Yeah.
okay.
Offices, yeah.
All the
So
houses
they're-
on the other side of,
They're talking about procession and recession music, that's it. They're not talking about having like a band, it's literally like the Here Comes the Bride, and then whatever song you want to come out to. It sounds like that's what it is.
Right now, the township ordinance, they
Not
not,
ordinance, their approval resolution.
I understand.
Yeah.
The township ordinance does not use decibels to determine if it's a violation anymore. They just use it if it's, they consider it subjectively, whether it's a nuisance or not.
It's very formal.
So, I mean, if, you know, they could give them the variance and say if they don't annoy any of the neighbors, then they're okay, but they still might get fined if it's determined to be a violation.
I'm worried they might be within hearing of Mrs. Peterson.
No. I think she's.
I think he's-
Right the other side of Hamilton Street.
Mr. Peterson.
Mrs. Peterson.
You remember this.
Oh, yes, okay.
So they've already gotten all the approvals and variances they need for the banquet facility. That's already approved. They're just looking for this one amendment
It's not really an
here.
environmental,
No,
as
but,
we would think of.
Noise issue.
Noise issue.
Yeah.
so anyone have,
She's focused on idling noise. Yeah.
anyone want to make any comments on that or?
Pearson, I think she's.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's far enough away.
Just my 2 cents on it. If it's an Indian wedding, that is a loud noise.
Right.
My question is, would that happen after 10 p.m.? Where I live, there's no noise after 10.
There is a noise ordinance of.
If you're starting a wedding.
They have,
I'm overthinking it. I think this is very formal.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, they would still have to comply with the township's noise ordinance, so no, nothing after 10.
Yeah.
I think this is literally just to, I don't even, it's not even probably, if it's live music, I'm assuming it's like what would it be?
Not everybody's getting married every day. So.
Yeah. It's not to allow to have the wedding party outside with music, it's just the procession.
Well, the wedding's inside.
So if the music lasts for 5 minutes and the police get called because of the music being outside, by the time they get there, the music might be over, but even if it's not, I mean, I think it's like $100 fine or maybe a $200 fine, so maybe it's worth them for the $200 fine.
And I think the reason they're asking for variance because they want to avoid the fee.
I understand.
It's more because there was a specific condition on the zoning board approved.
Right.
So they're asking for relief from that specific condition. It's not the general noise
It
ordinance.
doesn't have to do with the noise ordinance.
So am I just responding? So normally with something like this, we would say, we don't have any,
No environmental issue.
yeah, no, like,
Environmental
Yeah,
concern.
keep it below 100 decibels.
Action level's 90.
I know, I was giving them a little leeway.
Action numbers.
What?
all right, so that's that one.
This
And
one,
then-
This one I didn't look at.
Okay, let me get, the other one is on the zoning board. I just gotta get to
Plus, that
the,
was the 14 houses.
no, this was just well, let me not say that, because when I saw it pop up, I was like, oh, gotta review it there, because it just popped up. Oh, there's 2 on here. All right, let's do this one first. Okay, so we have Sereno Tropiano and Susan Quilty, and this one looks relative.
I didn't see it.
This is, let's see what they're, we propose to replace the existing single-family home with a new single-family home. The existing lot is undersized at 7,500 square feet and requires additional considerations as it is in the East Millstone Historic District. The new home would be set back 13 feet from the property line to conform with the other homes adjacent to it. So they are seeking a variance, so they're undersized already, 7,500 square feet, you're supposed to have 10,000 square feet. They want to be 13 feet back for their front yard setback, and the zone requires 25, and they're saying that the other adjacent properties are 13 feet back. They would like to have 50 feet actual existing lot size, and this is 100 feet minimum frontage is required. So they're supposed to have 100 feet of frontage, they only have 50. The maximum lot coverage in this zone is 20%. They're gonna have 21.1 lot coverage. And the maximum impervious coverage in this zone is 30%, and it looks like they're gonna exceed it by 7.87%. So I will get this on a map.
So the only environmental thing really is the impervious, because the setbacks really aren't something within our domain.
And they say that there is existing structure and they will demolish and put new one.
Yes.
So what is the percentage today?
Hold on.
Because, we should honor a grandfather principle.
Can I spell Schindler? No, that's not right.
That's their present address, that's not the Schindler Drive in East Millstone. What is the address in East
Wait, let me close so I know what's what here. Is this? Okay.
Because it's court, Schindler Court.
Yeah, it's saying it's Schindler Court. Oh, Schindler Court. That's what I was coming up. Schindler Court. Schindler Court. Somerset. Okay. So it's this.
That's Western Road. It's not East Millstone.
Oh, come on.
Connection, right?
Yeah, it's giving me a little bit of trouble. Okay. So it's this property right here. 619 is Cedar Grove Lane. So just for reference, so let me show you where we're at here. So we're talking about this property. I'm sorry, this property here. This is Weston Road. This is Cedar Grove Lane. And they are saying the houses around them are 13 feet back from the road. And so they just want, they look like they're,
Did you say that Didn't you say that it was in East Millstone?
They said they were in East Millstone, and this
Yeah.
doesn't look like it's
So
in East
that's their
Millstone.
present address.
Right, but
That's
on,
the address for which they're applying.
that's what they have here. They have,
That's Somerset Run, by the way, that address, Schindler.
oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
Elm
the wrong
Street.
thing.
Uh-huh.
48 Elm Street, I'm sorry, it was down further. That is East Millstone, 48 Elm Street. Oh, I think the Wi-Fi might be giving me a little trouble. All right, bear with me. Gotta go back in. We'll search it by block and lot. 40, let's try it this way again. 48 Elm. Okay. It's saying it's, no, it's saying it, I do have signal. It's saying that's not an address.
One thing, it would be an address in East Millstone, not Somerset.
Yeah. Oh, let me try that. They're saying Somerset, okay. 48 East Mills, 48 Elm Street, East Millstone. Oh, now it comes up Somerset.
Yeah.
When you type East, okay, this is the property.
Okay.
All right, we got it.
It is Elm Street.
Let me back up here so we can see where we're at. Okay, so this is Elm Street. This is the property we're talking about. This is Wortman Street. I'm gonna back up, just so you have some kind of idea here. Cedar Hill Cemetery is over here.
Canal Road.
There's the Canal Road, and here's the property. So they are saying that the houses on either side are only 13 feet back from the road, and so they would like the same treatment.
They have a lot of room to go back there, don't they?
They do,
Is that what the pool in the back corner?
yeah. I mean, this 8 feet, but I mean, this
So now
obviously
the
isn't.
vehicles are parked in between the houses. If they push the house deep, they can have driveway in front of the house.
Yeah,
Well,
so let me just read one more
I
time.
think that's the 13 feet from the street. It doesn't seem to me to be a real environmental concern, and that's the one
No.
item that they really have a choice about. Everything else results from the fact that it's a 7,500 square foot
Right.
lot.
They're already
It's the
undersized.
smallest lot on the block.
Yeah, they're already undersized, they're supposed to be, the other thing is the impervious coverage, so they're allowed to have, 30% impervious coverage, is that what I said
Yeah.
before? 30% impervious coverage, and they're gonna end up having 37.87%, so that's really something we can look at.
Well, that's the one thing that, again, comes under our domain is the impervious surface.
Because they're adding an addition onto the house, so they're gonna cover whatever the addition.
No, it sounds as if they're gonna tear down the existing house and add it on.
Proposed site plan, so this is the proposed site plan, the existing is here, so they have a two-story.
They have additional structure in the back,
Yeah.
garage.
Garage.
Yeah.
So a two-story garage, a two-story frame dwelling again is gonna be here, also it looks like,
And the entire driveway is considered non-pervious, impervious. That's why it's 37, because now it makes sense.
yeah.
How about their tree situation? Are they taking down a lot of trees in the back there?
Let's see here, I will look at that in 1 second. They're also gonna have a covered porch here in the front. Here's the driveway, yeah, they're an edge of pavement, and then a one-story frame garage. Let's see what the tree situation is.
And there is not a.
Garage should be closer to the house. That would give them less requirement for the impervious.
Garage looks pretty wide. Is it a two-car garage?
It's not just the garage, but the pavement, the driveway.
No, but I mean, I was looking at leading up to it, the impervious, is it a two-car garage or what?
I can,
It's it looks like.
I'll look and see. I'm looking just to see if I can find the tree.
The garage
Looks like a
is
two-car right there.
attached garage.
That one.
they would have
There's the garage in the back.
less impervious surface.
That's a two-car garage. I'm looking for the tree
Putting
information.
it so much back, they're adding lots of unnecessary impervious.
No, they don't have, unless they have a plan.
It's also much better when it's attached, because
Oh,
then
maybe.
when you want to add charging station, you have much shorter wiring, right? This is not really future-proof. The garage should be attached in some sense here. I know that. Yeah.
I don't see anything at all about the tree.
Probably, it would,
That should be the
it's such a
comment.
narrow lot, it would be
It is.
difficult to get into it. I mean, if you had a side entrance.
Maybe the garage should be the front.
You would
Yes, maybe the.
have to sort of go past it and circle around.
I don't see anything about any trees being taken down at all. Let's see, in case they wrote here. In addition, the lot coverage variance is de minimis and accepted by Historic Commission recommendation. The new home is similar in size to the existing home. The addition of the garage puts us over the limit by 1.1% of lot coverage.
Impervious surface.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Nothing about, yeah, there's nothing about.
They don't have any trees on the.
I think the main thing is the impervious surface, and I think Stan's idea is a good idea, that to lessen the amount is make the driveway shorter and bring the garage closer.
Closer, yeah.
yeah, even if the garage is just closer to the house, then the driveway being shorter.
Right, right.
Wouldn't they want it closer to the house? Just looking back and forth.
Or we can recommend pervious.
I would suggest that we just ask that they make an effort to reduce the impervious surface, for instance, by bringing the garage closer to the house and thereby reducing the length of driveway.
Considering making the garage attached garage.
Consider making the
Altogether.
garage attached.
Yeah.
I would also make the comment about wiring, for future wiring for electric charging. They may say, oh, I don't care about electric cars, but listen.
It's good to think
Now,
It's just a question of running a line to the
Okay, one
garage
second.
wherever
Future
they probably would want anyway.
it would be more expensive to do it,
Yeah,
because now we have
it
to
might
go
have to be
underground.
a slightly heavier line.
Okay, so there's just trees along the back property line.
A decent amount of trees.
What, a pool?
Looks like a little bit of trees here, yeah, and a pool,
It's like an above ground pool.
yeah.
It is above, yeah.
The garage may be just to the upper part where those trees are.
Yeah, quite likely, yeah.
Probably right in here,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's right in there, which is why they're not taking it. It looks like
Yeah.
it's just grass and not trees.
They may take the tree down.
You can ask.
They are not required to the residential.
Okay. Anyone else have any more comments on that one? No? All right, now hang on, we do have one more.
Oh,
Let me close some of these so I know what's what.
there's another one. A new one?
But this one just came in, I haven't had a chance to look at it. This one looks like it's kind of a bigger, oh, well, actually, it's not, all right. EH Somerset LLC,
Grass.
1860 Easton Ave. Let me look, I haven't even looked at it yet.
That's where the travel
Applicant is
was.
seeking approval from the zoning board of adjustment for sign variances related to proposed signage for Everhome Suites. The requested variances include the number of signs and their height. So they are seeking variances for, okay, so for a hotel, you're allowed to have one sign. One additional sign is permitted at the rear and side entrances, provided that each is equal to or less than the maximum permitted size of the front sign. They want to have two. One at the front and one at the side, both would exceed the maximum permitted use. They also are seeking a variance, sign maximum vertical dimension. So the maximum vertical you can have is 3 feet. One of their signs would be 4.98 feet and the other would be 6.72 feet. And they say, why do they say they need this? Let's see why. They give any information. Let's see. The hotel is set back from existing roadways and it attracts many first-time visitors. As such, the signs are essential in helping guests easily locate the hotel. Additional testimony will be presented at the hearing. So that's really all they say about this. This is at 1860 Easton Ave, is that correct?
What is this?
60 Easton Ave. What'd you say? It's going to be called, let me tell you, it's going to be called Hotel, previously approved. Let me see what the name of it is. E.H. Somerset?
Ever something.
What was it called? Ever Home Suites. And
What is there now?
Well, that's where there used to be the travel lodge.
yeah.
It's right up against 287.
They've already got what do they have there now?
It's just a sign
It's
variance.
just sign variance.
It's not any
Yeah,
construction.
they're exceeding the size of the signs, and instead of the one they're allowed to have, they want to have two. They also want to have both signs taller than the 3 feet that they're allowed to be. So instead of 3 feet, one is going to be 5 feet almost, and one's going to be over 6 feet. This is the site right here.
Those signs facing 287?
No, I think they're facing.
Easton Ave.
Avenue.
And they're not illuminated?
It doesn't say if they're illuminated.
You know what, if they allow them to,
I know where this is. This is near,
they allow them to increase the size of their signs, then every other hotel and motel is going to want to do the same thing, and they're opening the door for the others to get the same thing. And it is an environmental thing because it's aesthetics.
Right.
So, I mean, people usually, when they're going to a hotel or a motel, they're not just driving around looking for them.
Right.
They do their research before.
Right.
They know where they're going. So they've already got their reservations. I would say, for the most part, maybe you guys disagree with me, but for the most part, they know where they're going. So the signage isn't the most important thing. So for them to make it larger, again, it sets a precedent for all other hotels.
I also think they're making it larger for visibility from 287.
Yeah.
Because I
It's
think
really advertising more than anything else.
it's far away from 287.
We haven't looked yet, but all
Right,
the hotels.
you're right,
are-
yeah.
Again, most people, I think, maybe you guys do it differently. You do your research before and you know where you're going to stay when you
And I
come.
look for the stars and the reviews. How's the food? How's- But what I see is that the lot is far away from where they want to be seen.
Right.
And there's no way, and that's the only place they can put the sign, right?
Right. So, what's everyone's thoughts? Yes or?
Yeah.
My biggest argument, even if they have that extra big signage, you cannot see from Easton because I think Quick Check is right in front of them.
Right, yeah, it is, I don't, yeah.
And you have university orthopedics.
The visibility is only on World Fair.
Nobody will see that.
Nowhere else.
Eastern
A
Avenue.
big building, university orthopedics,
So the thought is large, but they're saying the thought is that larger signage isn't gonna make a difference because they're already blocked.
And there's a building next to it, of the doctors and.
Obviously, they think it will, or they wouldn't have to get over to make the application.
All right, what does everybody think? Because for this,
I just don't know, I don't see the visualization. If somebody's telling me that it will be blocked, I think that they must have think it through. And the reason they're asking it to be larger because they will probably raise it higher position, I don't know.
I mean, sometimes Arnie is right, that people will drive during the party ahead of time. Yeah, I said Arnie.
sometimes you're right.
Sometimes you're right. But sometimes you're driving by, you see a sign, and a couple of weeks later you decide you want to go someplace. Oh, there's a motel over there, or a hotel there, and then you go look it up. But it's advertising as well as definite
How
location.
often have you done that?
He's like,
My feeling is the zoning board has probably heard enough applications for sign variances to make up their mind on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have an idea.
You can just say aesthetically not pleasing.
Works for me.
Joe, is it
Remember we
environmental?
put the sign on 287 and it went to court and
I
we
have
lost?
no recollection of that. Ted, do you?
Is it environmental issue, actually? Is it environmental issue?
It's aesthetic.
Okay, but not our jurisdiction.
Aesthetics is environmental.
Okay.
So just so I know what's put in the report, are we saying that we have no comment? Are we saying that we don't think they should get the larger signage because it's not gonna make a difference and that it would cause a precedence? Or are we just?
I think it's really, truthfully, it's mixed feelings.
My thing is why? Why?
They find
What's the
another.
reason for this?
They obviously think the sign doesn't
Yeah, you know,
draw attention.
Yeah.
It's the number of
Avenue.
traffic going by.
That's a lot of traffic.
Is there a ground level view that they're showing of what it would look like? Street level view?
I think this is considered the front sign? Is that what it means?
That's high enough up to be seen from
Yeah.
287.
Yes,
That's on the
definitely.
Probably the real point.
Yes, yeah, okay, so this is the sign that's gonna be almost 7 feet tall. It's like affixed to the building. Say
And how
every,
high up is it on the building? Like on the third floor, the fourth
Yeah,
floor?
it's not a freestanding sign, it's on the side of the building.
Fixed, yeah, to the
That's
building.
different.
Yeah, you should put it up.
How many stores does it have?
how many stories?
It's like it's,
1, 2, 3?
3 or 4.
Oh, 4, there's
Four
like on the
stories.
basement, yeah.
Yeah,
Fourth.
yeah, that's on the building itself. It's not a freestanding billboard.
Right.
1, 2, proposed signs, 1, channel letter set, so yeah, it's on the building, it's on the
It's on
building.
the building
It's
itself.
on the building, then I don't see a big deal
I
about it.
agree.
Alright, so no comment.
No comment.
No
No
comment.
apparent environmental effect.
Okay, that's it,
You
for site
you-
plan.
you can't even say the birds would fly into it. They'd hit the building.
Alright,
Birds might.
that's it, for
Okay.
site plans.
All right. So we finished site plans. New business, sustainable Jersey recertification, due this year.
Yes.
That's the stuff he gave us.
Yes,
this thing.
yep. So I had the green team meeting last week. We went through and Stan was there, which was great. And we went through all of the spreadsheet that has all of the actions on it and tried to figure out which are good to submit, which are not. So some we won't be submitting like I suspected because they're going to require a lot of work and we have enough buffer points. So what I've been working on now is everyone understands what they're supposed to do. By May 8th, I'm asking that we have all the narratives submitted back to us so we can put the application in for May 16th. That's the first submittal to Sustainable Jersey. So what I've been doing is today, everyone got this Google sheet, but I've been taking out what are your exact requirements and putting them in an email and basically saying, these are the 3 or 4 you have to work on. Please send them to me, with a narrative. And I also, if I have a narrative from our last submission or any documentation, I sent it specifically to that person so that they can use it. So Stan, for example, I sent an email to today and it says, Stan, here's an example of, because there wasn't a narrative previously, so I gave an example of one I did last year for that category. Plus, there was a list of like 3 or 4 that you're supposed to work on and the link to the action so that you can see what it is. Just try to make it as easy as possible for people so that no one can say, oh, I can't find it. It's like, it's here, it's in the email, it's in a separate document, it's in this Google sheet. So everyone hopefully will be submitting me everything we need by May 8th, and I'll get the first draft in to Sustainable Jersey by the 16th. As they come in, Ted is going to he gives them the review, and he gives it a hard review, and he's mean about it. He's really mean about it. So Stacey's like, no. He goes through it with a fine-tooth comb, and anything he doesn't like, he sends back to the person.
You told them enough. I'm hoping that they will all pass muster.
Yeah, Ted's the final, the buck stops with him, basically, so that's what's gonna happen. And so hopefully as people start sending stuff in, I am really gonna send it to Ted for his review, and then we get it up there. Then Sustainable Jersey will have until June to kind of look at it and give us any feedback. And then we have another submittal in July, and then after that, there's even another submittal in end of September. So, I think so far so good. I think we're definitely moving in the right direction. May 16th. Yeah. So far so good.
So after the summit.
What's the summit? What day? Do you remember?
90 days
Yes, so then after that.
earlier, if the submittal is due the 16th, that's only 8 days after
Yeah.
if anybody does require any if they have to find out something new that they haven't already found.
Yes, that's why I
It's really
submitted,
tight.
it is. Well, I want them to have everything done and to me by the 8th, so
Yeah.
I sent them everything today. So I'm hoping that between now and then, people will look, or at least say to me, oh, I'm not sure where this is, and then I can help them, but it is tight, but if I make it too early, then I get, then it's like people, it's harder to get them to actually want to do it. So I'm trying to,
How many of them will do it on May 7th?
a lot, a lot probably, yeah. But we'll see. I mean, if there was information from last year, I sent it in a Word document, so someone could literally track changes on it. So let's hope. But I think we're in good shape there.
Is
basically,
there
bottom line.
anything that we have to do as the environmental commission?
There are going to be some things we have to look at, but most of it I'll be doing with Ted. But there are some things I will need help on, and I'll reach out to everyone individually on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That meeting was Township manager and mentioned that they are contemplating getting electric front loader, which is like 30-ton equipment that has the capability of lifting 6 ton. They were more like on the side note because they would need, obviously, incentives. But I have reached out to the CEO of that company. It's called Heavy, and they're located in East Windsor or West Windsor. I cannot remember which one it is. So I connected them today. They didn't started communicating yet, but if it goes through, I would be very excited.
Yeah, be great.
But the budget is a big constraint, obviously.
Is this one that could use the existing charging stations, or they'd have to use one special?
I didn't think it through yet. They have, so it would be based in the DPW. They do have charging station there that is limited to 6 kilowatts. It depends how much energy they need, because they can just keep plugging it in. It doesn't have to charge quickly. But it really depends on how much
They probably wouldn't use it every day, so
you know what I'm
they
talking
usually have
about.
time to.
Is this a piece of equipment, Stan, that to get from DPW to where it's going, that it would be on a flatbed to get there?
I think so.
So that's
Because
less
it's not-
energy that they would be using,
it's
electricity
not-
they'd be using.
It's not on-road vehicle.
Yeah.
It moves on-site. It's a construction vehicle. I don't know whether you can, for short distances, just roll. Whether it's legal. I mean, technically it's possible, but it's stress on the road and stuff. So
I remember Bob Vornlocker talking about this, and he said they'd been hoping to get a grant from the state to defray the cost, but the state said that the money is not available for off-road vehicles.
correct,
such as
correct,
this.
yeah. And the CEO, his name is Raymond. He said that there is some different type of funding, and they are familiar with it, and they can help the organization
Okay, good.
to make the request file and complete the application, which is, this is the important fact.
Yeah.
The program is a diesel replacement, diesel vehicle replacement or something.
Diesel stinks.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Then, the community heat monitoring and mitigation.
Yes, so I heard back from them, so we did not get the grant.
Oh.
They had hundreds of applications apparently and gave 10 out. So, the one thing they did say is that they are hoping to open up the next round of grant application for July 15th. So, for the year 2026. So we can resubmit the same application or just email them and say, hey, we're interested in you keeping us on the list for this. But there's just so much, competition basically.
And Noah's
we were
been,
very lucky with Sustainable Jersey, so I
Yes.
think they just want to spread the joy and give the money to someone else as well.
Noah is one that got hit by a lot of these layoffs
Yes,
also.
very true. They also had a bunch of layoffs recently,
Yeah.
so
No-
this grant is through NOAA, through the
Yeah.
National
Yeah,
Oceanic.
that's the weather, low weather thing.
Yeah. So that's okay. So they only selected 10 people to get the grant, and we didn't get it, but that's all right. We can keep applying for it. Should keep our name in there. Yep.
Okay. This we've talked about before, appointment of a youth member.
Yes, I have an update on that.
Okay.
So Ed Potasnik wrote back to me and said you should check with Gary Rosenthal. He's the chair of the Human Resources Commission.
Yep.
And I remembered from presenting at a meeting to them that they call them junior commissioners. So I actually spoke to him right before this meeting. He called and he said that the process they use, and they've been doing this for years, let me back up. I went through the ordinance, and I found nothing in the ordinance, the Human Resources Commission, about a junior member, a non-voting member, nothing. I found absolutely nothing that would give you the impression that it's an appointed position. So I spoke to him, and he said that what they've been doing for years and years is they try to get a junior in high school, so it's a 2-year term. They work with the the school board and the school's guidance department to find a student that's interested, and then Gary, the commission reviews these people, chooses a student, and then because they have no voting power and no standing, the chairperson appoints them.
They will be Paul.
So, yes, that's the process they use. I said, so you never have to go to the council or anything like that? And he said, no, because it's a non-voting position, and it's basically like having an ex officio member, and they've never had any problem. Apparently, they've been doing that for forever.
They haven't had problems with the fact they have evening meetings and maybe the youth had something to do?
No, they've never had a problem with this type of appointment
Right.
process. Because I went to their ordinance because I was like, okay, we will rewrite our ordinance to match their ordinance. No. So then I went to the Board of Health. I went to a bunch of other boards, and there's nothing in there about junior commissioners or members.
Does it have to be limited to one?
I don't know. At that point, I don't know. I'm sure you can have as many as you'd like, I would assume.
If they get 2 or 3 people that are interested,
Yeah.
how would it hurt us to have them here? And it benefits them as well, as far as, getting on the resume for school, for college applications, and meanwhile they're helping us also.
I don't think it's a problem. When I asked him, did they get an extra credit or anything for school for doing this? He said no. But that does, we could work with the environmental club at the high school, or we could go through their guidance department to get a recommendation, and they might recommend 1 person or 2 people. I think anything beyond 2 people, because you do have to remember they are students, so during the meeting they're probably going to have questions, and they're probably going to need some background, so it's going to potentially add on to what we do, which is fine.
At
But
the table.
right beyond 2, I think it's probably a little much, but yeah, and that's the process that he uses.
I think whoever's in touch with our education area might want to talk to somebody administration-wise. Or maybe we'll get to
An email?
I can reach out to someone if we're interested in doing that. Is that what you all want to do, or?
Well, there's been some of the high school kids have come here once in a while.
Should we pass the motion for it?
I would
think
say
so.
yes, and I would make a motion to do it, to say up to 2 students.
Didn't we actually want to bring student a year or 2 years ago, and it just fell through?
We've talked about this for 20 years, Stan.
Okay, so
It's not that it fell through, it's that Councilman Potasnik, I thought, and I did think that we were gonna have to redo the ordinance, and that's what he thought as well, but there's nothing in any ordinance. So he's basically saying that the chairperson is able to kind of like appoint, like just the way that the chairperson is able to make an ad hoc committee, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like an ad hoc, they can't vote, you know?
We must have already moved, we just forgot or something. Why are we just moving and then, so what?
So we just do it.
I don't know what you're saying. What are you trying to say? I'm like trying to understand, what is the
What I'm
point?
trying to say is that we must have moved in the past. Do we have a record that we moved, that we want to have a student member?
Well, this is the motion specifically to allow Paul to actually appoint them, not the council, for Paul to appoint them
That
as
was
a
to go through the
member.
town council. That's what the
No,
previous.
it stays with us.
So we have to go through the town council.
Technicality, Stan.
Yeah.
Or you, Arnie, I forget.
So I have Arnie as making the motion and Evia making the
Just vote
second.
with an S or an A.
Right. And again, just so everyone knows, this would be to allow, basically, I would reach out to the school, ask them for recommendations, we would get their resume, and then, you know.
Now, are we going to say that it's are we looking for a 1 or
1 year.
2 year term?
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Because if you're looking at, it could be either one.
So the way Gary does it is, he said if they get a junior, it's like until they graduate from high school. They don't say only 1 year for you and that's it. If it's a senior, basically they do it until you graduate.
Okay.
And if the person has to step
Play it
up,
by ear.
If you want to have 2 students, you could have one junior appointed each year,
Ah,
so they would overlap.
But it also, that's a great idea, but it also depends on who it is that's volunteering.
who's interested?
You take what you
You have to get somebody interested or not.
Right.
If there's somebody that's
That would be
active.
the best case scenario if we could have something
That would
like
be
that.
nice, yeah.
But it's
also
still,
Tara.
as the kids get into
Tara, you can
junior,
also go to,
senior, there's even more activities that eat up their time. And they may not,
right,
let's see what
yeah.
happens. Let's
That
make
is a
approach.
good point that Maria is saying, though, is that, so we go to Franklin High School, right?
Yeah.
But do we also want to go to, we should go to VOTEC probably, because they're a high school here
Rutgers
servicing,
Prep.
and Rutgers Prep.
Rutgers Prep also.
Yeah.
You have Central Jersey here, you have Thomas.
Well, then the answer, the other question is,
Yeah.
if you go to Vodtech or Rutgers, do we have a residency requirement, as we do for the board?
Yes.
I'd say yes.
Yes.
Residency
So
requirement.
that'll cut down the pool to some extent.
Yeah, it will.
Well, there are also charter schools. Do you want to include them?
It's just, no, I'm just saying.
I think we should do the I think we should do the Franklin Township Public
I
School
would
and the VOTEC, which is a public school. Once we start doing the private schools, then
Yeah.
there might be,
Changes, okay.
I don't have a problem with it, I mean, but I don't know, that's just my
bringing it
initial
up.
thought,
It's
yeah.
more straightforward.
Yeah,
It's
that's
simple.
fine.
I don't know, maybe that's not right.
But definitely a residency rule.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
That's,
Must be resident, and I will reach out to get, guidance and environmental
We have
club.
to check to see if they have a green card to make sure that they don't get deported.
Oh, God, I know, right?
it doesn't matter, sure. It doesn't seem to matter if they have a green
No.
card or not.
Okay, so we have a first, we have a second.
Right. Okay, all in favor? Yes.
Awesome, so I'll try to get a recommendation for someone.
Okay,
Okay, cool.
so now we're up to committee reports.
Okay, so this appointment is going to be for the coming year, right? In
It
June.
doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, as soon as we can get someone, basically, but, you know,
Student
Well, if
wants
we
to
didn't-
go by the school year.
Yes.
School year always, so September.
They prefer that.
start in September.
Start September, which means we have to sort of reach out to them now to get applications.
Okay.
Then you may want to interview, I don't know.
We'll see.
I'll have a conversation. So we're going.
Okay,
Good. Okay, we got that locked in?
yeah.
Any committee reports? Marie, you have one?
Okay, we sent letters to the schools about the sustainable and PSAG project. We made a spreadsheet, and mine were sent. I haven't heard from the administration. I also try to include the private schools, but Sustainable Jersey does not. It's only for public school because it's from the union, from the teachers union, NJEA. So I have to limit, the list also has the public schools. Also, we started on, there's a Google document that they are revising
Okay.
about the clean energy article or.
Oh, great. That's the article that is going to basically encourage people to come to our website that shows how you can save money on energy costs in your house because PSE&G is increasing their prices in June, right? So Maria and the committee had the idea to basically say, hey, here's ways you can save
And
money
then-
because the prices are going up.
On Thursday, I went to the Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Yeah.
We attended. And they were asking many questions about the extreme cleanup. What the Maglio did was he present again the flyer. And basically, that's what we talk about, mostly about the extreme cleanup. And they were going to reach out to other businesses that will bring more participants. And I told them that they have to register on the link that you send, and that there's a way where that they have to sign up too.
Awesome. Okay. Can I just add on to your committee, even though I wasn't part of it, but I think this falls under it. So I brought the idea of, Robin had asked about teaming up with the Trails Committee for their Firefly hike that they do every year for the Dark Skies thing. So they loved it. So they said we can absolutely have a table there. It's going to be the probably second or third Friday night of July or Saturday night of July. So as it gets closer, I'll let you know. But they love that idea. And then Jenny has been working with a member of our Trails Committee as well. His name is Pravesh Lal, and he is a member of the Native Plant Society. So they are working together on potentially putting together a native plants event. So yeah, they're working on that. So that's a good partnership, Trails Environmental Commission.
Did I miss anything? No?
Any other? Stan, is anything from the energy standpoint?
Well, nothing about energy, but for the stream cleanup, we have agreed that we'll send an announcement besides thank you sending to the Chamber of Commerce. It was sent to Franklin Reporter and Advocate, and also to Tap Into.
That's the other one, yeah.
Malik, right? Leon.
I sent it to the youth center, but I didn't get any feedback, but they got it.
Thank you. I'm not sure whether I reported last time that we got the parking lot secured in the back of the church. Okay.
That's April, what?
April 12th, yeah. Now, speaking of Save the Mall, I have to acknowledge that the Kafas family did a pretty good job. Do you have the graphics?
Yeah, so just from last meeting, when you guys approved us using your logo, we kind of thought that was it, and so we actually already made the purchase. And so if there's a problem with the actual signs, I have the proofs here, we can find a way to take your logo off.
No, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, let's see.
I'll just leave those over here. It's going to be double-sided, save them all on one side, leave the leaves on the other.
So except of the proof, it will be like that.
I like it.
My mom did all of this, by the way. Can't take any credit.
What, your mom did it?
Yeah.
Cool.
She also made the QR code goes to a website, ftsavethemo.com, which talks about the two committees. I can talk about that more during.
And it's going to be a rectangular?
Yes, the signs, yeah.
What size?
Or is it like functioning, the website? Can I put
Yeah.
it? Okay.
I don't know what size. Yeah.
It
My
will-
mom, I can text her.
You don't know the size?
I'll text her. I'll tell you during the
Okay.
comment.
Yes.
This is the website. Oh, this is really nice.
It's a lot of the same exact wording as the article.
Uh-oh. I just found out today, this isn't your fault, this is mine. Ted told me. It's
Oh, no.
T-I-L-L.
I don't see any reason for an apostrophe.
I put the apostrophe
I
there.
thought it was like.
I guess I guess you're abbreviating until.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I thought I was doing, yeah.
So you have to put the,
Grammar has changed.
That's what I told her. So when you get a chance, I just found that out. I have to change it in my report too.
Yeah, we can change that.
I think it should be.
Let's be simple, just put it until. No discussion, until.
No,
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
we moved
fine.
last
Don't
year that
replace
it'll be
apostrophe.
till.
Sounds
And-
better.
As long as the colors here, right?
This is a nice
It has kind of
website.
green kind of.
I like this, Jenny. This looks great.
Signed that. I did the writing. but-
Beautiful.
I have a
You made it
complaint, and I
yourself, Jenny?
often have this.
you made it
with
herself?
Things
Mom.
like
I mean, the
stickers.
website too?
This is a European bird.
Yes,
Oh, my goodness.
I did try to explain.
It's a European
It's a European
robin.
robin. I actually,
I'm perfectly fine with that.
so the thing is that image was free.
I
And
get
it
it.
wasn't copyrighted. And we were trying so hard to find native stuff, even like, don't look too closely at the plants.
Okay.
A lot of them are like, we did the best image we could, and then we chose that one because it's a robin. We do have an American robin. Most people don't know the difference.
Oh.
I think we should leave the European one in there, and it will create conversation and see how many people pick up on it.
Use a pigeon or
I will say, it was intentional all along.
So Jenny, just so I know, so it says here if you want to sign to contact us or your mom's email, which is great. Now, if they contact us, what are we supposed to do? Just forward them to you, or?
That would be fine.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah, my mom is ready to volunteer to do all of the sign handing out. We were kind of like going back and forth because I was originally thinking we would give them to you guys, but she seems to be willing to drive around and
In all honesty, if she is happy to do that or have people pick up, only because I'm not in this building like often unless I'm here for
Yeah.
a meeting, so there's really like, you know what I mean? It would be
yeah.
easier if that works.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I think that we could handle that, even if it's easier to have a place to pick it up.
Or pick up.
We can work with.
Or they
somebody
could
on
pick it up here, if she doesn't want to drive it around, we could leave them at like the clerk's office, and then people could come to the clerk's office.
Okay.
So whatever, find out from her.
Yeah,
what she
I'll tell her
thinks.
about that. She seemed pretty willing to drive around, but I'll tell her that.
There are two different QR codes. They
Yeah.
provide the
Well,
two
it's they're
QRs
doing
are
it as like
different.
a volunteer.
They
team.
go to the same
Oh,
website.
they
Oh,
could
because
do- well, we could
actually,
add
when
that one.
look at it,
I
they're
would
not-
assume,
they're
I
not
mean, unless
identical.
someone complains.
Oh, good catch. I didn't
Well,
see
they could be different for
Yeah,
staff.
program, I mean.
Yeah, I think they're two
You're saying
different, but
differences.
they do go to the same one.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Until again.
I like it.
So the QR code leads to this?
You could just click on it.
I think it looks great, and this website is great, and it's very informative.
Right. and you get
Are those native birds?
But at some point, we should have it nested to Township website.
I think we can, I don't see why not, right?
It's just that we are slower, right?
Who, us?
What kind of logo do we have on our website now?
I have requested the correct logo, but let me check and see if it's been done. Hold on. I do think we should link this to our website, though. I think that's a great website. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of big, but it's.
Oh, they updated it.
Yeah. I think we should put the Save the Mo here on the
Yeah.
side, and it can
But
link
it
to
should-
the website.
It should be,
Okay.
but it should be part of the official website.
The Save the Mo one, you're saying?
The township, I know they used to, but when something was imminent, like within the next week or so, they were advertising something on the front page of the township
The
website.
scrolling, yeah.
That would be something that you would want to have there,
Yeah.
you know, a couple of weeks before
Yeah.
the start date.
To make it more.
Yes, so we can add that, add to scrolling menu.
That's the link that shows up, but if you do ftSaveTheMo.com, it brings you to that website.
FT
And then it
save,
changes the URL at the top.
okay, FT save the mo.com.
Which means that you had to register the domain.
Yes. My
Okay.
mom has a business who's paying for that.
Okay, this is just like my notes, so I will make sure that gets there.
FT.
FTSaveTheMo.com. I like that a lot. Thank you, Jenny, and thank your mom.
Yes.
Sue, thank you. That is a really nice website. And I think it's nice that it's run by volunteers. I really do. I think it's nice.
And it has this
It's very
chat
simple.
on the
Try
bottom,
to hit more.
the colors.
Nothing. Yeah, something is there?
Show off your support.
That must have been added.
Before your first mow, take 1 to 3 photos of your lawn and send them to the Environmental Commission. There we go.
Oh, size are 12 by 18 inches.
Perfect.
Huh?
12 by
18
18.
inches.
That was in the ordinances.
Well, just one
Sign
floor.
ordinance.
12 by
Okay.
18?
And you said it was like $5-6 per piece, or?
I know that at the end of this purchase, it came out to about $450
Okay.
total. I think it ended up being around 50 signs because we had to pay for the stands separately.
Mm.
So
Yeah, they don't sell the signs.
450 divided by 50?
Well, it's free. They're giving it out for free, it says. Right.
Yeah, that's what our goal is. So we're trying to fundraise money for that. We've been talking to some local businesses that haven't,
Nice.
nobody's committed yet. But then today we launched this QR, the Venmo thing.
Venmo.
So
Yeah.
we're starting to spread it around to people. If you guys know anybody or know any businesses that are willing to donate, send them this link.
So
or
that's
send them
directly to your mom then? The
the
money.
QR code.
The funding. That
The funding, yes,
Goes
it's going
to your
directly to
account,
her,
right?
and we're keeping track of how much we get. If we end up like going past 450, then we'll buy more signs.
Then you're gonna put the sponsors up here?
Yeah, that's the plan. And then we also have, we created these brochures. I folded up 2 of them. And so people's businesses could go on the very back. And then it explains everything. If they want, we would print them out for the businesses to have there.
That's wonderful.
And then we also have like the window signs.
Joyful.
Beautiful.
Very nice. You did a lot of work.
You did.
Yeah,
Your
a lot
mom.
of work. The
This is
brochure.
really cool.
Yeah, the other thing we offer to anybody's business who wants it is a window sign that's just like, we're supporting these campaigns.
Oh, yeah.
I like
Then you
it.
don't need a
And
support.
this QR code is
What?
that,
You don't need a
right?
support stamp, the base to hold it up. It'll be on the window.
Yeah.
And it's nice because on the back it's leave the leaves, so it works out great for that too. Were you asking? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna, can you take a step back for a second? We were just talking about students, the possibility of students being a part of this. But weren't we also talking about having non-voting members that would be appointed, I don't know if they were gonna be appointed by the council, to expand the number of people here that would be involved in many of the things? I know we were talking about that in the past. What happened to that?
So those are not appointed members. It's like how we work with Jenny as like a volunteer.
Right.
So basically, it's like she has a project that she's interested in helping us with to save the mow. So we can like work with her, and she can kind of write articles and do what she's been doing and come up with this program. So we're allowed to have like these other
Right.
offshoot committees, I guess, with volunteers, but not. I don't know that we talked about other non-voting members. Did we or no? I don't feel like we did. Did we?
No, I think just from the youth standpoint.
From the youth standpoint, yeah, but we can work with any volunteers. Does that make sense, or no?
I think it's harder to get youth volunteers. It has been over the years. That's why I thought we had talked about adult, non-voting volunteers who could get involved.
Yes, and they can. I mean, like the way we work with Jenny and her mom, that's how we work, but not as a member because then it's going to be, we're going to have a ton of people. But this gives us the flexibility to work with people on like specific projects that they're interested in. So I
don't
think
know if it's something we want to advertise.
So Jenny she wrote an article about volunteerism that's going to get, hopefully, she's going to send it to Franklin Reporter and tap into, and if it gets published, it's about how to volunteer with us, like in things that you're interested in. So it's a whole volunteer, which is great. But we're just waiting to post that until after the stream cleanup is posted and the Save the Mow, just so that it doesn't get kind of lost.
It might be something that would go on the Franklin Times also.
Franklin Times, yes, absolutely.
Just one quick comment. So when you have volunteers from the community who are involved in such big projects, is there a provision that we can get them to the table when they have a meeting, rather than just sitting in the audience there?
I was thinking about the same.
Oh, that was the point?
That was sort of.
He's like, oh, that was your point?
That was my point, you know, so
Yeah.
that she's not sitting out.
Yeah, that's what I meant by saying, if they're instrumental in driving a project,
And
bring
she's
them
driving,
part of the
yeah.
group,
She's leading.
for that meeting, you know?
Yes, I think that's, I think that's
There's enough
fine.
chairs.
Yeah, absolutely. That works for me. I mean, I don't really have a say in it, it's really you guys, but I'm like, that's good with me.
Do we need to move that,
No.
Jenny just sits here, or?
Oh, really?
I move that she is invited to our table
I'll
to.
second that.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
She's involved.
An honor.
An honor, but
There
you
you
can't vote.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Jenny, for your help. You've done a ton of work, and this looks awesome. This looks really great, and I think it's very informative.
I would add one piece of information for those who are afraid that, they can get fined, that the township is not going to enforce it until. And
In
we
the
need,
pamphlet?
yeah,
I don't know that was ever said.
we did it last year, but I think we need to get the
You remind me.
buy from local again.
Oh, that we wouldn't, right, okay. I'll have to send him another email, okay.
Yeah, I think we want to say by end of April. It would not be enforced. It's easy to remember.
Okay.
We would call it until Thursday, which is 22nd, but somebody may say, oh, I'm busy, I'll do it later, or it's not tall enough, or I think it's not
Easy,
tall
all right.
enough.
Let me get the okay from the township manager on that first.
The township only gets involved if it's over 10 inches high.
Yes, we don't know what will be the height at that moment.
I wouldn't want to try to know it with a
22nd is
low if it's 10 feet, 10 inches high.
And people may choose to do it on the weekend after that. It would be 26 and 27.
So it's at the end of the month.
And end of month is then on Wednesday after
Yeah,
that.
I mean, that's an easy,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
easy to remember end of
Yeah.
month.
What if it rains?
right, exactly, exactly.
All right, let me get the okay on that from the township manager, and then I'll let you know, Jenny, and then we're
Okay.
good to go.
Sounds good.
Great, okay.
Cool.
If it rains, we should.
Are there any hot topics that we haven't covered?
Can I talk about the native plant talk?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
So I was working with Pravesh from the Trails Advisory Committee, and he's on the Native Plant Society, and so he's trying to get a speaker. We're looking to do it like April 28th or April 30th. I went over to the senior center and I talked with Janet Tamari, and she was saying that booking the room for that date shouldn't be a problem. She also thought that it would be fine if I got the booking, but kind of on behalf of the EC, so that way it's still free.
What day was it? I'm sorry, April
Either the 28th or the 30th.
or 30th?
It's going to depend on like if we get a speaker, which if we don't, then there's no event.
And you're looking to do nighttime or daytime?
Nighttime.
Nighttime.
I was
Maria,
thinking-
don't we have something April 29th? Isn't that the school thing?
28 or 30.
Or the 24th? Okay.
Thursday. Let me
I
check.
remember there was something with that.
Yeah.
24th, okay.
It's the common
I got that
ground.
on the
6 o'clock?
calendar.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Everything ready.
That's fine. I think if you do it on, or if she needs me to email her to
Okay.
book it, I can do that too. Or if you
Okay.
want if you just CC me on it,
Okay.
that's probably the easiest thing. If you
Okay.
email her and CC me on it, then she knows that it's from us,
Okay.
and then she can, this way
Yeah.
they know it's through the environmental commission, so there's no charge and all that stuff.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
And then the other thing I was talking to her about is having tables there. So I was hoping the Trails Advisory Committee would have a table, and I was hoping the EC would also have a table. They're kind of similar to what we did for Common Ground. And then I was also planning on asking at some point Shade Tree for a table there if they're open to it.
Barney will do it.
Do you have
Put him
tables?
down.
Barney will do it.
Something to think about. And then I was thinking about reaching out to the FHS Environmental Club about having a table there.
That would be great,
Just
yeah.
to have some representation. I think that the community is extra concerned about the environment right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it could be good to have sort of all of these groups present.
I'm sure the Trails Committee will have one.
Was everything too fast? What kind of presentation?
It's a presentation about why we should be planting native, encouraging people to do that, but also like I was hoping getting into the science of why just a little bit. There are people now giving talks on that for a public audience. So I kind of thought the Native Plant Society probably already has something locked and loaded.
Who would be the speaker?
Who?
Who would be the speaker?
Somebody from the Native Plant Society.
Jenny, can you send me an email about that?
Sure.
What you're looking for, so I can bring it to the shade tree.
Yeah.
And I haven't even thought of this, but I don't know if Ted's even available, but if you need another person, you're very familiar with native plants. You are. You're not?
Not particularly.
Native birds.
And birds?
Oh, well,
Yes, you seem to know a lot about native plants too.
Well, I've suggested more than once that when somebody needs a line of evergreens, they use eastern red cedars, which are about as native to, specifically to Franklin Township as
Right.
you can get.
Yeah, yep.
There's many shapes and sizes of native plants.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
anywhere from ground cover to tulip trees.
Yeah. No, you're right. All right. Well,
Yeah, if that doesn't work, I might know another person or two because I'm kind of in that world that might be able
Yeah.
to give a talk.
for
But
sure.
If there's a native plant society, they ought to have somebody.
that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Probably master
Getting a
gardener.
date that they can
Yeah.
speak may be harder, but
Do they have any relation to Rutgers, in the cooperative extension? Or?
The Native Plant Society?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't think so, but we could probably get someone from Rutgers Cooperative if you
Yeah.
couldn't get, because the one thing about the Native Plant Society, they may charge for their presentation, so
Yeah.
that's like the bind right there. So if they're gonna charge, I don't know what, then we'll have to find a different speaker, but I'm sure we can find a different speaker.
Would the county ag person know anything about this?
I would assume so. Somebody will absolutely be able to help us. Yeah, for
I think
sure.
what's tricky is that the people who are adamant about planting native are not the same people who are actually putting plants in the ground. So going to somebody that's horticulture, landscaping, or agriculture might not be the help we want them to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I was thinking Native Plant Society because they
Yeah.
definitely have.
Well, and Pravesh is on the Native Plant Society, so he knows of a speaker. He's just trying to find like one that is not going to be like a charge, basically.
Yeah.
So, he's working on it.
Okay.
Awesome.
So.
Cool. And one quick thing too, so Pravesh, as part of his Native Plant Society, and he's a member of our Trails Commission, they had some kind of funding left over with their work with the Master Gardeners, and so they are going to go to Negri Napodi, the Native Plant Society and Master Gardeners, and start labeling and inventorying the native plants there, and then at the end we'll get a database of the native plants they've found. And then they're going to try to label them as well because it goes for hours for Master Gardeners, but we end up getting benefit from it too. And then maybe like down the road, the Trails Committee wants to do kind of like a walk and like show the native plants. So that it's a good partnership.
I know a couple of years ago there was an initiative to restore the sort of exhibit of native plants there. Did anything ever come of that?
Yeah, so Chuck Martin, when he was on the Trails
Exactly.
Committee, he worked on it. He did get a few of the demonstration plots done. DPW has been doing a good job of mowing around them and there's like a trail now that goes through there. But every year the biggest problem is it has to be weeded and it has to be looked at and trimmed, whatever's going on. So having that maintenance is hard, especially since Chuck moved away. So
Yeah.
we were able to have a Boy Scout do it last year, but it's kind of as we move forward, the maintenance. But they were replanted, so.
It's
So,
the section right next to the parking lot.
Yeah, right behind the kiosk, yep.
So now we'll move into old business. Skip the stuff, voluntary program.
I don't have any
Logistics.
updates on that. We talked about it last time, but Robin's not here,
Right,
so.
okay. The annual stream cleanup. That's Stan.
That's Arnie. Oh, yeah.
Walter. Right now, Walter.
No, I'm not going there.
Okay. Climate mayors, I don't have any update on either. I'm still
Okay.
learning about this, yeah.
And the curbside composting, Ellen, anything new on that?
I'm doing research. I'm really surprised at how TerraCycle has changed and grown, because, I mean, they have a lot of programs, and, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about my community, and I don't think my community would go for it if it comes from me, but I would love that. And people have to be trained on, what is compostable.
That's for like finding somebody that would actually collect the compost.
Well, I mean, we know about a few companies, and you have to meet their requirements. You have to do, I mean, it's always do what they want.
Yeah, there's one group I know goes to the West Windsor Farmers Market, and I'm totally forgetting their name, but I do think they do a curbside program.
You mean other than Taurus?
That's probably total.
There's
I think Taurus
Trenton
had a contract, yeah.
Okay.
I think Taurus had a contract with West Windsor.
Do you mention that you want a communication from the Environmental Commission? An email, please. You would like to
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, just let me just check.
I mean, I'm very passionate about food waste, but people have to be educated, and it's like for home composting, you don't want to do meats, fats, or cheeses, because it takes, longer, and it will attract animals. If you do just the vegetative, the bakery, floral, then you can do that. Then you can add, your clippings from, taking care of your trees, your shrubs, and then you turn it periodically and then reapply it. And then you start this cycle where you're doing it, and then next year you don't have to buy fertilizer, you don't have to buy soil amendments,
Yeah.
you're renewable.
Regenerative.
You got anything else,
I
Paul,
know
or?
nothing. I was looking to see if Anthony said anything new. Last I spoke to Anthony Wu was a month ago. Well, not quite. February 28th. He said he appreciated his help in moving it. I don't know what's happening. I'll try to get a hold of him again.
Okay.
So we talked about the stream cleanup.
I think we're, yeah,
Yeah, we're good.
we're out of there now, yeah.
Okay.
Out of all business.
The mayor's company,
My
all
homework?
business as required by the commissioners. No?
No.
Okay, open the
Oh, we
floor.
got a sad news, but it's at the state level. One of the permits for the wind energy was revoked today, so.
Oh, no.
What happened?
One of the wind energy permits was
Permits
removed.
was,
That sounds like on the federal area.
yes, they have to resubmit again, yeah.
Well, they're just postponing.
We
it.
knew it was gonna happen,
I'd look at a motion now to open the floor again for
Yes.
comments.
Ellen?
Second, yeah.
Okay.
Public? Yes.
Yeah, the public comments. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Anybody want to say anything?
No.
Yes, yeah.
Jan Brandt, 22 Bryant.
Video.
Yeah. So when you guys were reviewing that Elon warehouse, yeah. So I was wondering, because I know we have that warehouse resolution in place, but it looked like that warehouse was, that application was signed in 2022. So that's why it's going forward. Yeah, okay. So I was wondering, with and I think this Thursday evening, there's a meeting, about the traffic study and the township, and I don't know if any of you all have attended it, but they're going over where, depending on the warehouse size and where it's located, it should be a certain amount of distance from the highway and all. So I'm just wondering if when you're looking over these applications, even though that hasn't been instituted yet, it's been very interesting how they're doing this new traffic study and warehouse placement. Is anybody familiar with that? No?
I've looked at it. We haven't started implementing that as part of our review because it's not an approved document, and so it's not in place. But once that's approved, we'll add that to our Green Land Development
Right,
Checklist.
yeah, and for anybody who wants to, it's this Thursday where they're discussing again, and it makes a lot of sense. It depends on the warehouse size and, how close it is to the highway and how big it should be. So, and it also, and one of the reasons why is that most of the intersections in Franklin Township are like, grade D, F, as far as trucks, and they're just trying to make that better. So, so that was about that. And then this is more, maybe Paul will know this. So the Save the Mo, so I live in a community, it's an HOA, Canal Walk, and, we have, it's a senior community, so somebody comes and mows our lawn and all. So I don't know if you've ever presented these kind of things, because it would save our community money as far as having them mow and whatnot.
We did talk about it last year, but didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, I
Now
figured.
now we have new board members, it's possible that we can get somewhere. Even if we move the starting mowing down a week
Right,
or
just
two,
1 week.
We'd make a help. And it would save us a little money.
Right, and, the same thing with the chemicals they're putting in and whatnot. So are you going to try that, Paul, with our new, good luck with that. Okay.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, because everything has to look pristine. It can't, be too overgrown. And then the composting, I know I'm in the environmental committee in Canal Walk. We have an environmental committee and they talked about composting and about getting the containers and whatnot, and I haven't heard much since, so I was wondering about that.
I mentioned that when I came in, I think. We're waiting for them, tourists, to get their insurance policy. That's the holdup. There's purely volunteers, but if they're coming on with pickup trucks to pick up, or cars to pick up 5-gallon pails, they need to be insured. So that
Who needs to be insured
the
then?
people who are doing the pickups, kids.
Oh, it's
The company,
kids
the
doing it.
tourists. So Robin put them in touch with an insurance company, and they're working with this lady Dee, and they're fine tuning what they need.
Okay.
But they need liability insurance, and they have auto insurance because they're driving cars.
Right.
But it has to cover, it also has to name Canal Walk as well as, the HOA has to be additionally insured.
So is this a volunteer organization that's doing it?
No.
It's a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit, group of high school and college kids that have started picking up food compost. You get a 5-gallon pail with a seal top. And Tom already said we could put them on the patios. So here, I talked to him about it. So I did, I had a discussion with Tom. David's the head of the environmental group at Canal Walk. He's the one that came here, was gonna be on the commission and then never followed up. But, so we've been working with him. And he's got about 15, 20 people that have already said, yeah, they wanna do it. We're just waiting for Taurus to say, or Dee to say, here's the insurance policy. Once we have that, we're ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say my opinion that when they created their business model, they did not have the insurance in place.
No.
And, their profit stream is kind of non-existent.
Right.
So I'm just saying that be prepared that maybe they should ask for money. Because they wanted to have it free at the beginning, but I'm not sure that whether they whether they can sustain it even now.
It could be some donor will supply them the policy,
Yeah.
But what they said was originally that they would do it for 6 months for free if they had 2 people within a 1 mile, 5 people within a 1 mile radius. Well, Canal Walk, there's no problem.
Right.
But Bruce came back to board and said they have to have insurance, like any vendor comes in to Canal Walk.
But that's added cost. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's and Robin, who's not here tonight, she gave this Anthony Wu her card, because she has an insurance agency. But she put him in touch with the one that covers this specific stuff. And David and I and Ellen went down to Trenton and audited the Trenton biogas, because that's what they do with the food waste. Take it down to Trenton Biogas, and they anaerobically generate a gas which powers a General Electric generator, which feeds public service.
And they charge them to tipping fee.
Yeah, there's a tipping
We thought
fee.
that they would actually give them money for giving them food for the bioreactor, but it's actually opposite. So
It could be in the $3 to $4 a pail every 2 weeks type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, they don't, that's what they know, they don't know what the cost will be until they find out. Well, now, they didn't know they needed an insurance cost,
Right.
so we'll see what happens. But we're,
Thank you, yeah, no, and then my last question, the council had distributed, the purple air monitors, a while back to like all the senior communities and to the schools and all, and actually the one for Canal Walk is in my backyard because it was never working when Tom was in charge of it, so I have it in my backyard. And it's a really nice, you could go online and see what the air quality is. I know Robin once said it's not really. What?
What is it measuring for?
It's measuring the particulate matter.
particular,
Yeah.
mainly what the trailer trucks are putting on.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, if you go to like Purple Air and you put in like our zip code and you can see them, all around and all, and definitely in areas that are more, where traffic is more populated with trucks, it might be a little bit higher, like back when we had those, fires from Canada, they're very useful. And it's and for a senior community and for schools, I remember one time the school up the street, the magnet school on Metlers,
Yes.
where I was checking it and it was, really high in that area. So, but anyway, I'm just wondering, it seems like a really good tool, even though it's not, I know Robin Sudam said, there's ones out there that are more, instrumental and they're calculated and, different than these, but really these on the most part calculate this number for us. And I'm just wondering if you all would be interested in, going to the Township Council and asking for more of them. I want to say, I think they're only, back maybe a year or two ago, maybe they were like $100 a piece, but it would be nice for them maybe to be in other areas and you get a better accounting. But right now it's at all the schools and it's in the township building, in the municipal building. And
These are instant read?
Yeah, instant read.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to, putting out monitors. When I worked at the safety office at Rutgers, we would get them and then we'd send them to a lab to have them analyzed. But this is instant read.
This is instant read. And the thing is why it's good for our community is, because one time I checked, how you could go to, I think it's Air something, and it's like the readings, and they're like out in New Brunswick. They're not really close to this area, but with the proliferation of all these warehouses and diesel trucks in our area, it just seems to make sense to, why not? Especially, like, I don't know if any are out in the Veronica area.
So the readings are made public?
You could just go online and look it up, I could send the link to, Tara and she could send.
Their accuracy is good? I mean,
it's not a scientific tool, like anybody could buy it, so I know.
It has to have some sort of.
It doesn't have to meet any standards.
It has to be standardized.
Yeah.
The town wouldn't have bought it otherwise. I mean, the town is who supplied it.
You know what, I'll send you all the information, maybe you could, just discuss it at another meeting and talk about it and just check out the quality. I mean, it was really nice when it happened when, we were going to the council meetings and we're worried about the diesel and there's no measurements of, what's happening in our community. So it's just a nice tool to have.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I have one, but the monitors are really far away. So
Yeah.
these,
That's one we always had to watch at work.
okay, yeah.
Can't do this unless this goes. This is no more comments. We'll close the comment period. All in favor?
Second, yes.
Next thing to do is to make a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Arnie, do the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
No abstentions? Okay.